Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Rachel and I am knitting. Not right now, but most of the time. And I have been knitting, so I'm going to tell you all about it. Today's video is episode 64 of my weekly podcast, which is a series where I walk you through all of the things I've been working on over the course of the week prior. I'm talking knitting, I'm talking spinning, I'm talking crochet. Maybe one day I will talk to you about cross stitch because I also do that, and I have a cross stitch project that needs to be finished, but has not yet been finished, and it's a couple years old at this point. Anyway, I walk you through what I've been getting up to over the course of the last 7 days, usually, and I tell you my thoughts and my feelings about each project. Sometimes it's really positive. I'm really happy. I'm elated at my project. Sometimes it's a thorn in my side and it's burning my butt right up. So my feelings are not as positive. They're negative. So I tell you all about that. All my thoughts, all my feelings, all the ups, downs, highs, lows, etc. of working on a project. And I don't know, if you like the thought of that, make sure that you hit the subscribe button because you don't want to miss future yap sessions. So let's go ahead and get started. We'll start the podcast as we always do with project updates, and I have a lot. Have I already said the phrase buttload? I feel like I should only say that once per podcast, so I apologize if I've already said it, but I may risk saying it a second time. I have a buttload of projects to show you. And by buttload, there we go, 3 times now. Thrice I've said this. I have 7. That's what I mean by that term. I have 7. That's a lot. That's more than I usually have, but I have just been in go, go, go mode for my making. I talked about this a bit last week. My mental health is not great right now, and that is largely because of current events. And I hold the information superhighway in my palm at any given moment. And I just feel like I need to separate myself from reality in a healthy way, not in a destructive way. So I have been constantly making. Once I finish a project, I need to start another project immediately. If I get bored of a project, I need to go to a different project immediately. I am not interested in downtime for my brain or my body. I want it moving, 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 making something constantly, because that for me right now, in addition to other things like, community support, my husband, SSRIs, thank goodness for those, all of those things working together to help me find equilibrium. But anyway, that's why I have 7 projects to show you today, because I've just been making. I just can't stop. I won't stop, because then I'm left alone with my thoughts or doom scrolling, and I just simply am not interested. Not interested. So my hands have been, working up a storm. So let me show you the havoc that I have wreaked. Okay, so my first project is a classic ribbed hat. Shocking to no one. If you've been watching the podcast, you know that these just keep jumping on my needles. I have no say in the matter. It's just what's happening. So last week, in fact, did I bring it down? I thought I did. Maybe I made that up in my mind. Hmm. Stand by, let me look for it. Here it is. Okay, yes, I found it. Last week I showed you this classic ribbed hat. I made the baby size, but it's not for a baby. It's for a young lad in my family. And then I cast on another one with leftover yarn for another young lad in my family, so they'll have matching lad hats. So this one I made, and I have to tell you, last week I told you I wasn't sure about the rusticness of this yarn. It might be a little bit too rough for the kids, but I think it'll be okay because it softens up with wear and it's much softer after washing, yada, yada, yada. Um, I have completely been sold on this yarn, and I hope that they love it. And if they don't, if it's too scratchy for them, I'm just gonna say, it's okay. It won't hurt my feelings if you don't like the hat. I'll just take it back, because this hat is so sturdy. It's so structured. I love it so much. I want to get another skein of this yarn to make a hat in it for myself. So this is Blarney Woolen Mills yarn from Ireland. I purchased it in 2023, and wouldn't you know it, I'm going back to Ireland next week, so I can get another skein or two for myself. As I was knitting with this, particularly on this hat, I was really struck by how perfect this would be for a hot water bottle cover. This is an Aran weight yarn, but I think really it's more like a worsted weight, maybe like a heavy worsted weight. And oh my gosh, on a US 4 needle, this was just flying off my needles. It was so fun to knit. It was just beautiful. And so I want to make a hat for myself because I tried this on before I blocked it. I loved how it felt. I loved how it fit. It was just magical. I'm not going to try it on for you now because I've already washed it and I don't want to wash it again. And as I discovered, or as I revealed, I should say, because I've known this about myself for a long, long time, as I revealed a few episodes ago, I don't think it's very good to try this on and contaminate it with my essence and then give it to someone. I would want to wash it again first. Even though the young lad is not going to care, I'm sure. Anyway, this is done and I'm so happy with it. So happy with it. I will be getting more yarn from Blarney Woolen Mills to make a hat for myself, maybe a hat for DJ, a hot water bottle cover. I want to work with this yarn again. And I'm so glad that I know that, because imagine I didn't make these hats. I didn't work up this yarn until November, for instance, after I'd already returned from this year's Ireland trip. And then I would have to wait a whole nother year for October of 2026 to go back and get more. Whereas now I'm like, perfect, I'm about to go back so soon. I know what's on my shopping list. So that's the first project to update you on. It's a finished object. It's a classic ribbed hat. This free pattern from Pearl Soho, they have a lot of great free patterns. This is one that I keep making again and again and again. And in fact, again, because another project I have to update you on is another classic ribbed hat. This yarn is a single skein I had of Treehouse Knits in the colorway You Belong Here, which I think was originally from her Riverdale collection. But the reason I have a skein is because it was part of her A Few of My Favorite Greens collection, which was available for pre-order earlier this summer. So she sent me a skein of this colorway, You Belong Here, on Dogwood DK, which is a nylon merino blend, and also a skein of Team Jess on Dogwood DK. And I cast on the skein of Team Jess immediately. It was my trip project when I went to Scotland, took it with me, made a hat, didn't fit me, gave it to Leslie. It's a whole thing. But this single skein of You Belong Here, which is like a gray base color with these beautiful speckles. They're like brown and like a burnt orange and green and teal and blue speckles. So it's just a really cozy colorway. No single skein of DK or worsted weight is safe in my yarn collection right now. They're just going to become classic ribbed hats. That's just the way it's going to go. So that's the case for this. I'm making the adult large size and I just love it. It's a dream. It's a dream. And I know I said that I really enjoyed the process of knitting this hat, and that was true. But this Dogwood DK on these size 4 needles is just singing to my heart. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because I have 12 more stitches than the sizes I have been making previously. I don't know, but this feels so nice, so good. And I'm using my favorite little stitch marker, my current favorite, this raspberry from Heather Ellis Art. I just love it. So that is the second project to update you on, another classic ribbed hat. And the third project is another classic ribbed hat. Just kidding, it's not. I only have two to show you, the finished object and the one on my needles. Although, as soon as I finish the one in that You Belong Here color, I'm sure that another one will jump on my needles. It's just the way it's going to go. And I'm thinking also I need to select some trip projects, and I need to be discerning about the trip projects because I have like a 7-hour layover on the way to Dublin. So I feel like I could make a hat, no problem, but also like, do I want to make a hat, or do I want to make a shawl or have like a bigger project to work on? I don't know, but I could see myself bringing a single skein to make a classic ribbed hat and like have that done from start to finish on my layover. You never know. But anyway, those are the first two projects. The third project, I had a nice little bump of this Blarney Woolen Mills yarn left over, and I thought, what shall I make with this? It's not enough for a hat, not even a baby hat, but it is enough for something. What could it be? And I'll let you guess. I bet you're right if you guess what did Rachel decide to make. And it's a rat. I don't know if you can tell this yet, but it is indeed a rat. This is the pattern called Rats, exclamation point, by, I believe, Sarah Elizabeth Kellner on Ravelry. She's also known as Rabbit Hole Knits. I've made so many of this dang pattern. I have so many rats in my home, dispersed throughout my family. I just am the rat girl, for better or worse. And if you want to know why that is, you can go to my Instagram page. I have a whole highlight on my profile going over the story of why I'm the rat girl. But I have to tell you, I don't even like rats. They're great. I'm sure they are very foundational for ecosystems across the world, but I just randomly made a rat once and then it just kind of became a thing. So whatever. Rat on, my friends. I have one on the needles. I'm not sure if this will be a gift rat, which is a hilarious phrase, or a rat for myself. It is really fun. Like, it's so fun, this yarn, because it's gray, but it also has all of these colors dispersed throughout it. And they're not neps. It's not tweed yarn. It's just these colors are embedded in the wool, in the carding, in the spinning. So it is a really, really fun yarn and a really, really fun color, because it's like from far away, it's just a gray, it's just a neutral, but up close, bam, we've got all the colors of the rainbow. Be amazed. So I think maybe that's telling me I need to keep this rat. But also, can I tell you a secret? I may be giving myself away, because Mom, if you're watching this, you're gonna get a spoiler, but I would love to knit a rat and just like leave it in my parents' house whenever I visit for my mom to find, because she's suspected, one of the suspects, of being the ratter. So, which, it's a whole thing. So that could be a contender for that. But anyway, I've got a rat on my needles. Doesn't look like a rat now, but the way this pattern works is you cast on here at the neck, you knit the body, and then you end with an I-cord tail, and then you pick up stitches for the head, you knit the head, you stuff it in the meantime, and then you knit ears, sew on the head, or sew the ears onto the head, and you knit feet, and sew the feet onto the body. And that's how you make a rat. This is a super affordable pattern. It's a couple bucks on Ravelry. So if you want to make a stuffed animal that's a little weird and fun, because, this is just a gray rat, but you could make a yellow rat or a purple rat or a blue rat. So it's kind of fun to make, that's a rat of a different color. Like horse of a different color from Wizard of Oz, but it's a rat. You could do that with that pattern. So give it a try. Check it out. Rats, exclamation point, on Ravelry. Anyway, another project to show you. I made this from start to finish one day over the weekend. I think it might have been Saturday. I was restless. I wanted something that was quickly on my needles and off my needles again, and so I made a baby cardigan. This is a free pattern on Ravelry. It's called Oh Baby, exclamation point, cardigan. And I made the newborn size. It has several different sizes. No, I do not have anything growing inside me, probably a parasite, because apparently everyone has them. Not to say, that's not what I'm saying. There's nothing in there. I'm not the one who's having a baby, is what I'm saying. I'm not saying it would be a parasite if that were what. I'm just saying it's not for me, okay? Don't be upset in the comments. I'm not, literally nothing that I just said was offensive. So, a baby cardigan. This is not for me. Someone else in my family is expecting, and so I thought, let's make a baby cardigan. I briefly thought I could make a matching cardigan for the baby's older sibling, who is already part of the family. But I don't know if I'll have enough yarn for that. So I'm debating between a matching cardigan for the older sibling, which is a gamble, because I don't know if I have enough yarn, or a little baby blanket to go with the cardigan. So I'm not sure. But I'll let you know when I decide. If I were to make a baby blanket, that would be a nice travel project, because I was thinking I would make just like a garter blanket. So that I wouldn't have to look at a pattern. I just cast on a certain amount of stitches and go until the yarn ran out. So, might do that. But this yarn is also very fun. This is Funfetti from Kimber's Cozy Creations. And it's not blocked yet, which is why I kind of have to flatten it out when I show you. It's a little V-neck, but it's not blocked yet. But this yarn I have had for a while, and I have 2 skeins of it. It's DK weight. And I have been thinking ever since I got it that it would be so beautiful as the contrast color in a colorwork pullover with like a bright grape purple as the main color. But like I said, no yarn in my collection is safe right now. No plans are concrete. I just am following whatever joy I can get. And I looked at these skeins and I thought, this would be such a cute baby knit. And then that's what it became. It's a baby knit. So yeah, just following the joy wherever it leads me, even if it makes my plans change for certain yarns in my collection. But that's another little finished object. When I was doing the raglan increases, this is a raglan cardigan, before I split for sleeves, I thought surely this is going to be way too big for a newborn. But I don't think so. I think it's really quite small, so I think it'll be okay. Do you all understand I wasn't saying that a fetus is a parasite? Do you get that? You understand what my anxiety is, I don't want to be misunderstood. And we've already talked, my mental health is down the drain right now. So you need to be nice to me. Thank you. Okay, so here's a beautiful baby cardigan. And we'll move on to the next project, which is not something I have anymore because I have shipped it off to its recipient, but I'll show you a picture. I finished the Christmas stocking. This is from the Christmas stocking collection, a pattern pack by Michelle Hunter. You can get it on Ravelry. I think it's like $15, which is relatively high for a pattern. However, there's a pattern for 6 different stockings within that pattern pack. So it's a good bang for your buck pattern. But yeah, finished the stocking, shipped it off, and it will be with its intended recipient soon. Next project is a very exciting update. I have been working on my alchemy tea. Yes, indeed. The reason this is exciting is because it was on hiatus for a little bit, and now it's not. And doubly exciting is the fact that I am about to join in the round. In fact, the next round I work is to join in the round. It's kind of hard to show it to you though, because it's all scrunched up on these needles. But I have finished both front panels separately, and then I've joined them and I finished knitting the front panels together portion. I finished knitting the back panel. Now I need to join the round. However, I'm kind of concerned about the armhole depth, so I need to recheck my measurements, and I just haven't had the brain space to sit down and do that. So I need to recheck my measurements, make sure that it's going to fit, because I don't want to join in the round and then have it not fit and have to rip back and add more length. So I'm going to do that. I have knit night with Leslie soon, so I'm going to consult her during that. And yeah, but I made a lot of progress on this over the last week. I'm very proud of that. I know it doesn't look like anything, but it will look like something very nice soon, because once I join in the round and I hold it up to show you, it will actually look like something. But that's really exciting, really, really exciting. I'm excited to have another fingering weight garment in my wardrobe. I don't have very many, and I think some of them are not really wearable. Like I have a Mount Pleasant that I made in 2020. So cute, but it's just a little too cropped to the point where it's like, you're not covering what you're supposed to cover, not whatever. It's too cropped. So yeah, I don't really have many wearable fingering weight garments, so I'm very excited to have this added. So there's a nice carrot to chase. I was going to say chariot to case. That's not it. Wow, what a day. I also want to tell you that I've been using this little yarn spinner that Spring Fantasy sent me. I used it when I was working with the Blarney yarn on the hat, and I used it on the alchemy tee, obviously, and this thing is great. These little grippy things on the bottom really keep it in place on the table when you're pulling this, and it twists so smoothly, and I'm a huge fan. So this has been my go-to for when I'm working on something at home or like during a football game where we're just on the couch for a few hours. This has been fabulous. But that just leaves one project to update you on. My final project of the lot, and it is my Felix cardigan. To jog your memory or get you on the same page if you're new here, I have been working on this exclusively while watching Gilmore Girls. So I'm, what, 5 episodes into season 2, I want to say. I might be wrong on that. I haven't watched in a few days, so it's not on the top of my memory. But last week when I updated you, I was almost done with the second button band. Since then, I think I've watched 2 episodes, so maybe I'm on episode 6. I'm not sure. I really don't know. But since then, I've finished the button bands, I've picked up and knit the collar, and I'm currently in the process of sewing the collar down. So you can see here, I've started sewing the collar down. We've got the buttonhole in the collar, and there you go. I did not continue watching the next episode after whatever episode I left off on ended because I had to do some other things, first of all, but also I was kind of getting in my head that I was sewing the collar down in the wrong place and that it would be all cattywampus. So I decided to take a break. But I think one episode more and I'll have the collar sewn down. And then all that's left is the sleeves. So here's the thing, folks. Reasonably, I could finish this cardigan in time to bring it with me to Ireland. And wouldn't that be perfect? Because it's this beautiful green. Green is everywhere in Ireland. It's a very beautiful place. This would be perfect. However, I need to decide how many spoons I have for this project when I need to allocate spoons to packing, to getting last minute supplies, to making sure all my ducks are in a row before I leave. So therefore, I'm not sure if this will merit my attention in the week I have before I leave. Could I finish this? Yes, absolutely. Will I finish this? I don't know. We'll see. I do want to bring a cardigan on the trip, and I have a purple Felix cardigan that's fabulous and hasn't had the opportunity to really enjoy its moment in the sun. I brought it with me to Scotland, but it was so dang hot on the Scotland knitting tours for the most part that I didn't really get to wear it that much. So I'll have a Felix cardigan either way. It's just a question of if it's my green Felix cardigan or my purple Felix cardigan. So watch this space and I will update you accordingly. But that's it for project updates. I think I went through all 7 with you, which means it's now time to talk about Spin Diary. Last week, I told you how much spinning was helping me cope with my anxiety and some dips in my mental health. Still true. I've still been spinning, and I'm so happy with these 2 spins I have to show you. Let's start with this one. Last week I had this about halfway done. I had 1 bobbin completed, and I was nearly done with the second bobbin. Since then, I finished spinning, and obviously I've plied this, I've skeined it up, and I love it so much. I have to tell you also that if you watched last week, you know that I'm trying to gift some handmade skeins, some hand spun this year to my loved ones on my gift list. And I thought I would put this in the gift pile, but I love it too much. And ultimately, what are we if not selfish? So I've decided I'm keeping this for myself. It's not my typical color. It's more brown and orangey, but I just love those pops of green and purple in there. And it's just so, it makes me so happy. So this is going to stay in my personal collection, and I'm not sorry. I made it. I worked hard, and it'll be okay. There's still lots of yarn and love to give, and spread around, share around the world and my loved ones. So yeah, really, really excited about this skein. And it's so airy and bouncy. And I don't think it's a woolen spun, but I think that I'm starting to be able to conceptualize how to manipulate my drafting to make it more airy and bouncy. So that's really exciting. And I wish that I bought 1,000 braids of yarn jam. Obviously not 1,000, because that is like $30,000 and I'm not good for that. I hate to tell you. But oh my gosh, I am definitely going to spin more yarn jam Shanico braids in the future. This was so fun to spin, and the finished skein, I just can't get over how squishy it is. I'm so impressed with this braid and with myself for making it this skein. I'm just really, 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 really pleased with this. And it's funny because when we went to La Mercerie, the yarn store on Bainbridge Island, when we went there for Flock, there were several yarn jam braids, but none of the colors really spoke to me, and so I didn't get any of them. And then I got this at the La Mercerie booth in the Flock Marketplace on Sunday of that weekend, and like the color spoke to me, but still it wasn't like a clear, I'm drawn to this color, because there were so many oranges, so many browns, and I just don't typically feel drawn to them. But the purples and the greens in the braid, won out, and I bought it. But now I'm like, I almost don't care what the color is. I want to spin a yarn jam braid of Shanico. So amazing. If you don't know, Shanico is a breed of sheep, and it's a blend of merino and rambouillet. So it's super soft, but it's also so grippy and structured, and it's just a dream, just a dream. So there's my first skein of the week, and here's my second skein, which is hot off the wheel. I finished this today. Well, I finished plying it today. I finished spinning it yesterday, but today I plied it. It's not washed or thwacked yet, and this is going to go in the gift pile. Basically, here's the thing. When it comes to putting a skein of hand spun in my gift pile, like, another thing that factored into me choosing not to put this in the gift pile is if I look at a skein and to me it screams a certain person. Like for me, there are several people in my family who knit. Several of my aunts knit, my mom knits, my sisters knit, my nephew knits. So I would love to be able to gift each of the people who knit a skein of yarn. I don't know if I'll be able to produce that much in time for the holidays, but I want to at least get a couple skeins in the gift pile. If any of you are watching this, it applies to everyone in the family but you, actually. It's weird. You are actually not someone I'm giving yarn to. Whoever you are in my family watching this, just it so happens that you're disqualified and doesn't apply to you. So, don't be getting your hopes up that this is for you, because it's not. Okay, anyway, so what was I saying? Oh yeah, so if a skein like screams to me, this is this person, like they would love this is totally their color, give this to them, then I put it in the gift pile and I'm like, yes, this is for you. This didn't scream anyone in particular, and the one that it screamed closest to, I already have a skein that screamed their name for them allocated. So that's why I decided to keep this one. This one screamed someone's name. I don't think they watch these videos, but I'm not going to tell you either way, just so it's not spoiled for you. But this is going to be a gift skein, and I'm really, really happy with this. It's going to look even better once I wash it and thwack it, but this was quite an even spin. I'm super happy with it, and it's super fun because of the fiber. This is a blend of cormo, which is wool, and rose, as in the plant, the flower, rose. So I've never spun with rose before, and it was great. It was very similar to spinning with a silk blend, and I would definitely do it again. This is from Little Fiber Co, by the way. Lauren from Little Fiber Co, and I got this at Flock. So both of these are flock braids. In fact, I have been working through my flock braids, and I only have 3 braids and 3 bats left of the things I purchased at Flock, or of the fiber I purchased at Flock. So I'm really on a roll, and I don't have any plans to stop. My next spin, in fact, I'll show you, is going to be this braid, which is also Shanico. And this is from Cesium Yarn, and this is in the colorway With All My Heart, which is from their, I think it's from their Dragon Tales collection. So that's going to be next, and just no plans to stop. I love spinning so much. It's so good for my heart and my mind, and I just can't recommend it enough. I also want to say, I tried to verbalize this when I was recording last week's episode, but I ended up cutting it out because I just kept fumbling over my words. I've been talking about mental health a lot this episode, last episode. I'm sure this won't be the last time that I talk about it. I think that it's important that we talk about these things. I think that there should be no stigma around talking about these things, but also I realize realistically that it might prompt some of you to worry about me. I'm safe. You don't have to worry about my safety. I'm just talking about the realities of living in hell. And it's not always sunshine and daisies. Sometimes it's debilitating anxiety or debilitating depression. I've gone through both. And it's real, and you may relate to that, you may not, but I just want you to know you don't have to worry about me, about my safety, about my well-being. I'm taken care of, I'm looked after, and I have, you know, people around me and care plans and all these things. So I'm safe, I'm okay. Talking about mental health does not equal me being unsafe. So I just want to clear that up if you've been worrying about that or thinking about that. It's a real thing. We all deal with it to some degree, some very much more than others, and uh, I deal with it severely. So I just want to be honest and upfront about that, because when I first realized that these were things that were part of my life when I was 18, I felt like I was very alone, and that I didn't have people in my life who could relate. And I know now that's not true. So many people relate to these things, but I don't know if you feel like you're isolated or that you feel these things and no one can relate to you. Uh, I do. I relate, and I care about you, and I hope that you're safe and well. And I'm safe and well, even though I am dealing with some mental health stuff. Okay. Got it? Got it. Anyway, love this skein. I hope that the recipient loves it too. And I would love to work with Cormo Rose again. It was delicious. So these 2 skeins are done. This marks skein number 5 that I've made in the month of September. I was telling DJ today, my record for a month of spinning was in July because of Tour de Fleece, and I spun 800 grams throughout the month of July. Now, with this skein, I've now spun 500 grams in the month of September. Could I spin 3 more braids before the end of September? Yes. But again, I need to be discerning about where I'm allocating my time in this week before I go to Ireland. I still have a lot that I need to do, and if I just bury myself in my spinning wheel, you know, that would be a choice. It would mean I wouldn't finish the Felix cardigan. It would mean I would stress myself out more because I would leave packing till the last minute. So another way that I'm learning to cope with anxiety and mental health stuff is to look out for my future self. Be kind to her. Don't defer things to her, because she might not have the ability to deal with it. She might be dealing with other things like her thoughts and feelings, etc. So anyway, I could break my record, but I probably won't, because it would not be a good choice for my heart. Okay? But oh my goodness, I just never want to put these 2 down. They just feel so good in my hands, and I love them. I love them. Love them. But that's it for Spin Diary. So now let's move to acquisitions. I have one acquisition, and I'm not going to go too in depth with it because it's a brand deal with Bob and Brad. And I didn't even bring it in here to show you, but I'm just going to tell you about it briefly. You'll see it soon in my Ireland content, but it's a mini massage gun, and it has an attachment that heats and cools. That's nuts. I tried it last night, changed my life. So I'm very excited to bring it with me to Ireland because my feet get sore on a knitting tour. My back gets sore on a knitting tour because I'm buzzing with excitement the whole time and I'm walking more than I usually walk. So I'm really excited to have that in my arsenal, bring it with me on the trip, and I'll show you all the ins and outs, but I'm really, really excited about it. I'll leave the link for it in the description in case you're interested in it now, based on my very brief description and literally having nothing in my hands to show you. But if your interest is piqued, you can check it out in the video description. And what else to tell you? I don't have any other acquisitions, so let's move to announcements. I'm going to Ireland next week. For you watching this, actually, it's this week. I'm leaving this week because this will not go on to YouTube until September 30th, and I'm leaving on October 2nd. Nutso butso. So what that means for you is hopefully I will still have a podcast uploaded next week because hopefully, unless I dedicated myself to spinning or I buried my nose in my Felix cardigan, I am distributing my time and attention equitably across the tasks that I have to do, which includes filming the podcast for September 30th. So, or whatever, October, whatever. So hopefully I'll have a podcast go up while I'm gone. That's something to keep an eye on. And if you want to have more real-time updates from the Ireland trip and see what I'm getting up to, see what it's like to be on a knitting tour, then you should make sure to follow me on Instagram. I know a lot of you on YouTube are here on YouTube for a reason. You don't care for Instagram. That's fine. I support you. But if you are on Instagram and you want to be nosy, follow me there because I'll share in my stories. I'll have reels and photo posts that will likely go up much sooner than any YouTube recaps because long form content takes a long time, whereas short form content doesn't take as long. Sometimes it takes ages, but I digress. So follow me on Instagram if you want to keep up to date and see what I'm getting up to on the knitting tour. It's going to be so much fun, and I would love for you to come through your screen. This is a great way to use your phone in a not stressful way because you get to enjoy yourself and see what we're doing in Ireland. It's much more fun than doom scrolling, if I do say so myself. Which leads me to the final announcements, which are the same as they've been. Come with me on a knitting tour. I have one spot left on the Knit the Wild Atlantic Way tour, just one. And I have a handful of spots left on the October 2026 Irish Knitting Tour. So if you have had FOMO the last few years because you see these knitting tours and you see how amazing they are, you want to be part of it, don't let 2026 be another year that passes you by where you're looking at these trips through your screen and wishing you were there. Make it happen. There's time between now and next fall, and you can prioritize that if that's something you want to do. So let me know if you want to join. The itineraries are both linked in the video description, and of course you can always email me at rachelisknitting@gmail.com if you have any questions. So that's it for the podcast. I'm so appreciative that you're here and that you hang out with me and that you care about what I'm making and what I'm feeling. It really means a lot to me. I don't know how to express that without sounding cheesy or insincere, so I'm just going to be brief and say I really, really appreciate it. And if you don't believe me, you're just going to have to take my word for it. Okay? You know, that's your cross to bear, not mine. So that's it. That's all. I hope you're well. I hope you're safe. I hope you're happy. I hope you're working on something that's bringing you joy. And if it's not, put it down, take a break, find something else that will fill your cup. So, yeah, have a great day, and I'll see you next time.